Nearly done. All right, we are live now. Great. Making that work. I save it to a playlist, and that's all done. That all just updates automatically then. All right. What have we got? What have you got, buddy? Anything?
Well, I did have one question. I saw someone ask whether it's possible to run more than one event at once, which I know that it is. But when I responded, I I had a question. I said with an Avio Pro account, you can have 5 Zoom meetings running. But then I thought, I wonder if I'm remembering Avio Founder and Avio Pro now has 10. So I'm curious what how many concurrent meetings, which to complete the answer, they can be separate. They are concurrent Zoom meetings. So they could be rooms within one event or multiple areas within one event, like a welcome celebration and a main stage or a VIP session. But they could also be rooms across multiple events that might be happening at the same time. So
Yeah, you're exactly right. There has my understanding still was that it was five across Pro and Founder, but I can double check that. Have you seen something different?
no, I remembered at one point, I remembered a number 10, so I couldn't remember if it was 5 or 10. I've generally been operating under, I answered 5 because
Yep, that's the
rather
safe
say
answer.
5 and it's actually 10 than the other way
Yeah,
around. But
yeah,
yeah, be a little conservative. But I thought it was 5.
yeah,
And of
yeah.
course, I didn't want to go to the obv.io website to check.
Not yet. Not yet.
Not yet.
Exactly. Yeah. Um, yeah, so 5 is my understanding, and that's 5, as you said, that are actively open, that are running Zoom meetings. And yes, it could be across multiple areas. It could be across multiple events, and so it's across the account, the owner's account, as to how many they have running at the time. And so, yep, there really is no problem to run multiple events at the same time. And lots of people are only using one Zoom meeting per event, and so in theory, they could be running 5 different events at the same time. So it's all possible.
And I didn't say this in the response that I gave, but one thing that came to my mind as far as running events, just to know this and just to kind of fill out this answer for the recording, most almost all Zoom accounts are enabled that you can run one Zoom meeting on one device, meaning that if I try and open a second Zoom meeting from the same computer, I'm going to get a message that says you're already running a meeting. Do you want to close that one and join
Yeah,
this
leave and
one?
join.
And so
Yeah.
it's just good to know when if it is your intention to be running multiple Zoom meetings, that usually means multiple computers.
Yep. Yep. Good point. Great. Thank you. Anyone else? Any questions or queries? Janet, you're just here to soak up information. It's like I might learn something. Hey, Stacey, what do you got?
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me okay?
You great.
Okay, I was just kind of coming on to listen because I've been off the grid for over a year due to family medical and personal medical, and I just kind of wanted to reconnect. So hi, number
Hi.
one. Number two, because I've been completely off the grid and I still have not done my first virtual event yet, what's the best way to start? Like I was part of I guess the pilot when Blue did all of the tutorials, and I just don't remember
Yeah, right.
how to access that because that's, I think, where I need to start.
Yeah. So are you thinking specifically about the Obvio event and sort of building out the Obvio event? Is that kind of where you're at? You feel
I
like you've got
just
The idea is all in place. It's just more the mechanics of Obvio.
Exactly. And yes, because I think as I go back through um, the modules, it will help solidify my ideas that have kind of been floating around, I think, for the past 2.5 years. So,
Right. Yeah. Do you know, I think that it's great understanding everything that Obvio has available and that you can do. My encouragement is to do as minimal as possible for your first event. And so deciding firstly that that you want to use Obvio for your first event. And it's funny that we say this, Blue and I are saying this more regularly now, in that sometimes it's totally fine for you to run your event just in your own Zoom account or just a straight up Zoom account, something that you're super familiar with, and you just make it happen, right? That's a very appropriate approach for the first event, because it's possible for us to line up a whole heap of things, and we see this sort of often where people love the idea of doing all of this stuff, but then when it comes to the day, it's like they're this overwhelmed with all these extra things that they've never done before. It's very easy to miss just a little button here or there, and suddenly people can't get into your event, and now you've got this train wreck because people can't even enter your event. And so I'm not trying to talk you out of Obvio. That's not at all what it is. It's more just considering when you're looking at the scope of everything that you're doing for your event, is Obvio the tool that you want to use to execute it? And if the answer is yes, great. Then it's now thinking through what is just the bare minimum for me to make sure that everything's working great and that people have a good experience. And then it's iteration, right? After that, it's like, oh yeah, I really want to add this feature. I really want to add that feature, so that you never feel like you're overextending yourself or your team or everyone, where it's like, I'm doing 7 things I've never done before. Ideally, we're doing one, if that, one thing that I haven't done before, because I can cope with that. And so what's the one thing I'm going to change? So if that's the case, and well, let me ask you, how do you respond to that?
So it's funny as you're saying this, it's all coming back, and you actually made me realize that there's one thing that I want to do, and I want at least the first of, and it's great. I love everything you said. Start small and then build. When I build, whether it's the first event or not, I decided that I do want it to be the almost like the open to the public, the way they do the TVEs, or at least the pre-TV, so it's not going to be ticketed. It's just going to be a
Yep.
free event just to kind of get out there. So that
Mhm.
is actually, that was just a little bit of clarity right now as I was listening to you. So
Nice.
knowing that part of it, where should I look to just kind of relearn or start?
Yeah. So I tell you, there's something, there's a couple there's a kind of bit almost hidden away YouTube channel that we have, where we just throw a few bits and pieces. And on there, we had Blue walked through building a couple of dashboards. There's one 6 months ago with Liz and one with Jimbo. Let me just give you those. I'll give you those names.
Thanks.
The Jimbo one you'll find really helpful. Now, it's mostly about design of the dashboard, but it's current, and it's walking through the process of just building out the design of the dashboard, which arguably is probably 80-90% of what you're doing with Obvio, right? It's like, what does it look like? What are the buttons? And then it's like, connecting that to Zoom and away you go. Or as in connecting buttons to Zoom areas and then being able to get into Zoom. And so that's a really great place to start. Probably better than the full workshops at this point. Workshops are still valid. They're just long. right? It just takes you a while to work through it all.
That's perfect.
So this one here that I just posted in the chat is Jimbo's
Okay.
walkthrough.
I'm actually just texting it to myself so I can have
Yeah,
it.
cool.
Okay. And then the other one,
And the
I
other
only see
one is
one so far. Is
stand
that
by.
right? Okay.
Stand by. There we go. It's coming. Here it is. Yeah, there's the second one.
Okay. Thank you.
So yeah, you'll find that really helpful because Blue is great at building out the dashboards, and so it's really just working through that, and that'll make you think about the different things. So then it's really like the types of events, remembering always that Obvio is built specifically for a 3-day event. Like that's what it has in mind, is a 3-day event. Whether it's ticketed or not, whether it's it's free or it's paid or whatever it is, a 3-day event is where it really shines. People use it for webinar style events, sort of an hour, 2-hour event, and that can work well. The key things to think about is that the reason that you want to use, a couple of the reasons that you want to use Obvio is that you want the experience for people to be that they are. Is that really loud? No, sorry.
No,
Can't hear.
I didn't
It's
hear.
amazing. It's loud to me. The experience for people is that particularly when your event is not happening, you want to think about that. Like if you're sending the same link to everyone, the standard experience that people get with a normal Zoom meeting is waiting for host to start meeting. Like it's a terrible, terrible experience, right? Particularly for an event. Whereas if you've got someone who's clicking that link, they're not quite sure of time zones or things like that, they come to this really nicely branded dashboard that maybe it has a countdown, or it's super clear when that time is, when it's going to happen. Maybe a couple of resources or things are on that dashboard. That's a great experience. That means that's what they're getting before the meeting starts. When the meeting starts, it's there and they click the button and they join. And then post-event, same again. If they happen to be late, they got their time zone mixed up, and they come to the event, rather than it saying waiting for host to start meeting, they're coming to a nicely branded dashboard that says the event is now over. Here's our next event, or this is the next, this is how you can catch us for the next one or whatever, right? And so at its most basic form, here you have a home for your event for before, during, and after. And so if all you had is a dashboard that had a bit of information about you, a countdown to when your event starts, maybe when the next one is, and a link to your website or something, whatever that is, I think that's a win, right? And if you agree?
I do, and I'm so excited. I just got the chills because so I'm a former civilian school teacher, and I'm working now with the veteran and military community. I don't know if that
I
rings a bell. That
remember.
was me. This was like
I
a while
remember. Yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
And because I've been offline for over a year, I'm very disconnected from this entire community. And people are like, "Where have you been?" And now when I come back out to the world after the new year, I want it to be, it's kind of twofold. The first one is going to be soldiers and service members all around the world. So when you brought that up about the time, the time zone, I got the chills because that will take care of it for themselves. And, there's going to be people in Japan and people in Australia where and here I will be at my computer in New Jersey and just hit a button. And, so that I'm very excited. And this also ties into what you were saying with the branding, because when I'm kind of wearing two hats in this role, because the first part is directly facing the service member, the veteran, as a teacher, helping them transition from military service back to civilian life, and that's more the life skills, the civilian school teaching. Then, so that the theme of that dashboard is going to be some type of online school, Apple, that theme, number one. The second bit of clarity I've also recently had is, so I recently joined our family's branded merchandise company. We do imprinted like gifts and things
Right.
like that. Wearing that hat, that's more front facing the employers, the corporate employers that are hiring the service members and veterans to their workforces. So that feel is going to be more of the corporate level, more of the how can our branded merchandise help facilitate community and things like that. So I'm just everything and again, they're all around the country. So I'm just, I'm appreciating even the little bit, and at the most basic level, just even opening the conversation again is very helpful. So thank you.
So good. It's so good. I'm really excited that you're back on board and thinking about it and
Thank you.
yeah, I think that's a perfect platform for it. There's two things when we're thinking about time zones. There's two things that are helpful on dashboard. One is the agenda module, which really, when we think of agenda, what we're really thinking of is like even days, or like the session starts now. It's less about like what are the specific topics or the breakdown of presentations. It's not that. It's really just like the event starts at this time and goes to roughly this time. And the advantage of doing that in the agenda module on the dashboard is that when you just put it in as let me just show you. It's worth just getting this right. I think it's probably an underrated feature in a sense, because it's probably one of the key things that people are often looking at. And so what I'll do first here, I'm going to show you in the event that we're in. I'm just going to share something.
Okay, and I see Muddy put that in the chat, so thank you, Muddy.
Yeah. So what you're looking at here is the event that we're in right now, that we're all in together. So there's nothing special about this event, as in it hasn't got any special tricks or anything. It's literally just a standard event that just happens to have a really long end time on it. And so the key thing to think of is the event time zone. So when we're referencing a time, a date and time, which time zone is that going to be referencing? And so in the event settings, we're just saying Eastern. And so now when we look at the dashboard, and we'll update this because it hasn't been updated for a while.
And Grant, the thing that you're mentioning about referencing a time zone, this is when it's useful to understand the event time zone when you are setting the time zone, or when you are setting the time, right? Like it will still display in each person's individual time zone, but when you go to set the time, you're setting it in the event time zone.
Okay, perfect.
And so you can see here that what we're seeing, and this is just on the dashboard. You can see here. What we're seeing on the dashboard is these are just saying the Q&A calls. Right. Now, this hasn't been updated for some time, and so I'm going to fix this now. What's interesting is you're seeing what it's like for someone who's editing the dashboard in a different time zone to the event time zone. And so see how I'm just going to just remove the.
And I'm just showing on my screen as well that because I'm an Eastern time zone on my camera feed, because I'm on Eastern time zone, they're showing for me in Eastern times.
Yeah. And so when I'm entering the date, see how I'm entering this in, I'm going to say that next week's is on the 17th at 5 p.m. And when I save that, it's the same. Okay. So that's now saved, and you can see that for me in my time zone, that's actually 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Even though, as we look again, here it is here. So it's 5 p.m., 7 p.m. Eastern, because that's what our event time zone is. It's actually really handy when you have team across multiple time zones as well.
Yeah.
We often talk about event time zone. I don't care where you are or where anyone is. What's the event time zone? And sometimes Muddy and I have worked on events together, and we're in totally different time zones. Sometimes we just set clocks up, and it's like, whenever we refer to time now, it's always this time zone. We're not, we never have to say, when we say 5 p.m., it's always Eastern.
Right.
I don't care what time it is in Australia. It's 5 p.m. And so, anyway, the point is that see how that shows up nicely now. Just say that.
And which template of the different, I don't even remember what it was called.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's a theme, and this was this is the classic template. Okay. But all of them have the agenda module.
Okay.
And so just these ones. And so now, whenever you go, when people go, and actually I can show you an example here of we can look at the dashboard as an attendee, exactly the way that they would see it when they click on the link. So when we go down to it, that's what it looks like now. To see that it's like super clear. It's at 9 a.m. and it's got the time zone. And then you can change this text, but the default text here is agenda is in your time zone, not ours. And so it's like trying to explain that really clearly that that's what you can use to compare it to. And so then the second thing I'd just say, as I sort of mentioned too, is a countdown is also handy. Lots of people that don't deal with meetings in different time zones and things can get very confused by it. And so sometimes it's handy just having a countdown. Surprisingly, sometimes people get confused even with a countdown. I've had people ask me, I know the event starts in 2 hours in your time zone, but when does it start in my time zone? It's like doesn't change any differently in my time zone. It's still 2 hours. So see how when you set a time countdown like that, it's really clear. And you can add multiple countdowns, and that's a way if you were doing multiple events. So if you were doing every couple of days, you could have them preset, and they can hide once the event has started, and then it's counting down to the next event. You kind of set up a few in advance.
Okay.
But if I was you, as I was getting at before, I would want a countdown. I'd want this super clear in the different time zones. And as I said, like you've got, join the call or whatever you want to call it, join the Zoom meeting, join the whatever. And you need a button and then a little bit of information about what it is, just to confirm it. And so now you've got the absolute basics of making it work. And the nice thing is you're teaching your people the platform in itself, so that as you grow, as you're doing more and more of it, they're super familiar with, I click on this link and it comes to here and everything I need is right in front of me. It's kind of something for me.
Oh, I love it. Thank you. Because I've attended many of the Mary Morrissey, the Tony Robbins, the Jack Canfield. So it's neat being the student learning or experiencing the tool that I am trained, on paper to, it's neat. So, no, I really appreciate that. And I love that I just saw on the top of that, you had get your certificate. What is that?
Yeah. So there's an advanced level move, which is a certificate building process. So you can actually send out certificates through Obvio. And so I won't go full into detail, but just so you know that it's there, and that is that you can create essentially a PDF is what can be sent to all of the attendees if they reached a certain criteria, and you can say that they need to have come for 80% of the event, then they can get a certificate of attendance, or it could be for continuing education points or whatever you want to use certificates for. You can do that. You can do it all through Obvio. So then they can click on that link and it will give them their certificate.
Okay. And the certificate, is it going to have their name in it, or that's something that they're, because they've registered, so it's already in, okay.
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
So you basically, you upload a template, sort of a background of the template, and then you put in a text a field that will put their name in. And then, I mean, you can actually add other fields as well if you want to get advanced on it. But that's basically how it works.
Okay, that's perfect. That's a good start for tonight. And then I'll report back after the new year. And I appreciate the help. And just again, as a teacher, I'm hypersensitive to the way I am instructed. And from day one, you and Blue have been amazing, and the entire team, honestly. So I thank you so much for your patience and just the way you instruct. So thank you.
It's great. It's great. It's great to have you back on the horse.
Thank you.
And people like, this is the thing with these calls as well, is that sometimes it's just coming and hanging out where we're just kind of soaking in it again. You're just like, oh, that makes me think of this, and I could do that too, and whatever. And so you're welcome every week whenever it
Thank
works.
you. Thanks, guys.
We'll help you get there. Awesome. Thanks, Stacey.
Thank you.
And Grant, as you were talking
Yes,
about
Marty.
time zones, the example that you were using was this event being set in Eastern time zone. And Nancy had a good question in the chat saying, well, wait, I'm in Central. Does that mean I need to run my event in Eastern time zone? And the answer is no. But I wonder if you can just show again where you establish the event time zone. And the way this came into the conversation is that when you're setting things that have a time in Obvio, you are going to be setting them in the event time zone. So understanding what the event time zone is useful for that.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, the thing with event time zone is that it can be any time zone that makes sense to you. Like, at some point, you have to choose a reference point, and so it can be any time zone. What's the time zone that most of your team are in? It doesn't matter your attendees. It's just what makes the most sense that your team is going to say, let's just reference all of our time zones to Central. Okay, great. We'll set the event time to Central. And now we just know whenever we're entering times, it's all based on Central time. And Obvio will calculate it for everyone else's time zones. So that's, you can set it to whatever you want. And it's just in that event settings there. So for people that have just joined, clearly I'm not at home. I'm in an airport lounge, and my flight is supposed to board in 10 minutes. And so thinking about that, if we, let's see, if we prioritize anyone that has some cutthroat questions that just they cannot survive another day without knowing the answer to this question, then speak now. Otherwise, I've got 10 minutes to chat about whatever else. Plus, you know what air travel's like. It could be another 2-hour delay. Who knows? We'll see what happens. Any other questions, comments? You guys, Stacey again. Jump back in.
If nobody's asking, I'll ask. So I saw that you hit, as you always do, live stream. It's recording, whatever media. How do you do that?
Yeah, super simple. And you could see when I was sharing that it's actually sharing live onto the dashboard as well. The only reason I do this is for really fast replay access to these calls, right? So, and it's actually it's a really efficient way for our team as well, right? Because I don't have to do anything now. When I close this meeting, everything's worked. The YouTube video is already sitting on the dashboard, and for people that couldn't make it, or what's often more useful is that people that are on this call that want to go back to the recording and look at something, they can do that super easily, right? So it is very easy. This is just a Zoom feature. So when you're a host, so you need to be the host, not a co-host. When you're the host, so the first person that started the meeting, you go to, often it's more, and then there's an option there for live stream. YouTube is there. You hit YouTube, it opens a browser, you log into YouTube, you name it, and then you're live. Like it really is that simple. That's the slight trick, I guess, that I'm doing is that I have a playlist, a YouTube playlist that has all of the every week's videos in them. And when I start the live stream, I add that video, which is now a new live stream video on YouTube. I add that to the playlist. And that's why it just automatically appeared on the dashboard, because I have a playlist embedded on the dashboard, not just one video, but a whole playlist. And so that new video goes to the top of the playlist, and that's why we saw it on there. So it's not, this is a particular use case in what we're doing, because it's rare that you want to just post an unedited, video that just happens to be, because they don't start very well. The starting is always a little bit awkward. The timing is not quite right. You never quite know when you're live. And so it could be 5, 10, 20 seconds of you like staring at the screen before it starts. Not a great start, right? So it's more often that you want to be able to take a recording, trim it, cut some things out, cut it down or whatever, and then post that as a replay if you are making replays available. But the functionality is all just standard Zoom functionality, and using a playlist, embedding the playlist on the dashboard. And
the playlist, does the playlist have to be public, or can you set an unlisted?
It's a very good question. And I believe, for the videos to be seen, the videos themselves have to be public.
Okay.
And you can't, Molly, objection, you're on.
No, I don't think so. I think as long as they're unlisted means public, but not, you're saying with a playlist.
With a playlist.
I'm thinking just the videos themselves. Yeah, playlist, maybe not.
Playlist is a bit different, and so Muddy, you're right. You can totally take an unlisted video and put that on your dashboard, and that'll work great. But a playlist works a bit different in that it won't actually show the videos within the playlist unless they're public. Okay. And so so you can see how this use case is different, because this is not secure, it's obscure. It's hard to find, and it's a very niche thing. And so generally would find if people were to stumble across this, but they don't. So it's a bit different. So
Thanks.
No, John, if you look on the dashboard that you just came through for this event, there's an embed of a YouTube playlist, and I add all of the live videos into that, and so that people can find them super easily. So it's not, we certainly wouldn't do this for an event so much, but for these types of calls that we do every week, it's perfect, right? Because people that come late as well, once you get to know this, and some people don't realize this, but if you can't make the Q&A call, but you're interested just to check in on it, I mean, you could come the moment we're finished, and you can go to the dashboard again and just hit play, and you can watch it. If you've got trouble sleeping, then you can I know Grant will really help me get to sleep. Just listening to that boring accent, it'll put me straight to sleep. So now you've got a cure for that. Any time of day and night, I can put that on and listen to it. Anyway, so it's a cool combination of features that we're using to make replays instantly available. So, cool. Right. It looks like, unfortunately, that my plane is on time. The first time I might have been happy for a delay. Anything else?
I have a quick question.
Go ahead.
I'm really behind. I've been dealing with a really serious illness for the all year, but I haven't really started. Muddy, I sent you sort of a long question because I know Grant has time since it has to leave. So I really just wanted to know where I should start because I had a problem logging in since the platforms were changed. I kind of got confused. So can you guide me into if this was my first day, where to start? I mean, I've been attending the last couple of sessions, like the last 2 months, 2 months back in November. I mean, since November, but and I follow Blue as he's doing it, at that time. But when Leap is fine. I can log into Leap, but when I try to click on some of the other buttons on the side, I'm not able to get in, I guess, to my account and maybe should just request a new login.
Maybe.
But I've never been on the dashboard part, so maybe that's why I'm sort of confused.
Yeah, okay. So something that is it's easy to get confused with is being an attendee versus being a user. It's kind of the terms that we use, right? An attendee is someone that's going to an Obvio event. They're the attendees, right? That's who they see as the public-facing view. A user of Obvio is someone that goes to app.ovv.io. I've just posted that in the chat.
Right. Okay.
And that will come into the login. And so it can be confusing sometimes because you can get to a login page for as an attendee as well on an event. And that's where it gets confusing. It's like I'm trying to log in to an event. But actually, what I want to log into is the admin section of Obvio so that I can get to the dashboard editor and I can see all the attendees and things like that. So so the first thing I would do is go to app.ovv.io and then put in your email, and then also you may need to forget password. Hey, Muddy.
Yeah, Ruby, I saw your private message too, and I'm happy to be a resource for you, especially as a new leaper. There are lots of different logins and accounts, and happy to be a resource. So just hit me up as a friend on Facebook if we're not already, and we can set up a time, and happy to jump on a 15-minute call and give you some specific resources to kind of point you in the right place. So yeah, no sweat.
I appreciate that. I'm not really new. I joined some time ago, but I just haven't been able to participate as I thought I would. And I need to get the ball rolling.
Well, newly engaged. Right on.
Thank you.
It's good.
I appreciate it.
Real similar to Stacey's story. And so it's awesome that you're connecting back in. And
Stacey, I moved from Jersey.
We got a lot in common.
Yeah. Well, safe travels, but thank you. I won't keep you. I'll just I'll hit Buddy up and I know he'll get me straightened out.
Yeah, that's great. And remember too that these calls on a Wednesday at 5 o'clock are about Obvio, and everyone's welcome, and it's great. You'll hear all sorts of different things. You'll hear Blue and Barry say that Obvio may not be the choice for your, as you're getting started and getting your first event or your next event going, it might not be the thing to do this time. And so it's worth just keeping that in the back of your head, which is similar to what I said to Stacey at the start. So thinking, is Obvio what I need to do for my next event? Or could that be for the event after that? Or is it just very, very dumbed down version of Obvio to be able to run the event? So you can just think through those things. Sometimes that can be actually releasing or comforting to release yourself from all the work that it might be.
A ton of questions, so
yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
And actually, there was also, I don't know if you were on when I was talking to Stacey, but there's a couple of videos. I'm just posting the 2 links.
I did. I saw them.
Oh, you got them? Okay,
on
great.
YouTube? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, great.
I grabbed them. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. Is it boarding now? Okay. All right. It is boarding now. But yeah, have a look at those videos, because at least it kind of steps you through building out the dashboard. Blue does a great job with that. And so that's something good to use. So
okay, safe travels.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone. I'm gonna shut it off early, but we'll be back next week, and you can also email help@obv.io, and we can help you.